Yes. So another common claim that is used to demonize seed oils is the use of hexane in their processing. So it is true that hexane is used in the processing of most seed oils, helps with the extraction of the oils from the seeds. This is different than cold pressing, where those are not used. So there are options available that don't use this process. They're more expensive, but not all seed oils use this process in itself. But if we do look at this process and its impact, what we see is that the hexane that is used in the process does not end up in the finished product in significant amounts. It is removed after the hexane processing, and very, very small, safe residual amounts are left in, or remain, I should say, not that we're like pouring it in for fun. There's some that is still left after the extracting process, and then this also kind of evaporates if we heat it up to cook it. So in the final process, if you use it for cooking, you're not really consuming any. And if you are consuming it in a more cool or cold manner, so not cooking with it, but adding it to food, there are still very tiny, safe amounts that are left in. And these amounts that can be left in are legally regulated in different countries. So there are requirements for what can be left in. It is an amount that is not harmful to human health, and this is legally enforced. And research suggests that companies are following these limits. So when people do studies to analyze what is actually left in here, it is well below the safe amounts in many countries. Even if we look at the differences in these legally allowed limits between different jurisdictions, so if we look at, for example, the amount that's allowed in the European Union, we find that even in commonly found seed oils in Canada and the US, we are far below that limit. And it takes much more than any human would ever consume to actually be harmful. Even if you regularly consume the 90th percentile seed oil intake in the United States, you are well below the safe limits in all of these different jurisdictions. So the grain of truth here is that it is true that hexane is used in the processing. However, it is not left in the final thing that you're eating in an amount that would actually be harmful to human health. And there are also versions available that don't use this process at all that you can also purchase, although they are more expensive for sure.
I'm curious, like, to reach the level of hexane intake that would be problematic, have you seen anything? I know this exists for things like sweeteners in sodas, like how much you'd have to consume in order to reach the researched problematic amount of that particular substance. In this case, hexane. How much seed oil would you need to actually consume to reach the limit?
One study that I found said that it would take 4,900 grams in a day. So, well above any amount that you would ever consume ever. That's more than the amount of water you would drink in a day. That's more than, yeah, there's no way you're actually going to consume that amount in any amount that any human would actually ever consume. It is very safe.
Bucket of seed oil.